Step 11 in the 15-step playbook for pain relief, part 2. Hi, welcome everybody. It's Jason Barlow, RMT. I'm here today as your therapist, as your coach, to help you transform any stress, tension, and pain into health, happiness, and vitality. It's been a few weeks, but when I left last time with step 11, I'd introduced the idea of eliminating grains from your diet. And a lot of people freak out when you start to mention about taking grains out of their diet. What am I supposed to eat? Is a common reply I hear from my patients and friends when I tell them this. And it's amazing how much there is to eat when you do take away grains. But we are habit machines. That is, that we just foster these ideas that it's only this way of doing things, when actually there's a multitude. If we start to broaden our horizons, open up our palate, and welcome in the opportunity to try a variety of different foods and food types. Now, there's a plethora of recipe books, of things online and resources and YouTube channels and podcasts, and there's an overwhelming amount. I appreciate that. And I've done a lot of research over the years. I've given you a little synopsis in my book of recommended books focused in on nutrition. So the best way to go do that is take a moment and visit my website, jasonbarlowrmt.com. You'll see a pop-up, and that pop-up allows you to leave your email address with me so I can give you a free copy of the book. Is that fair? All you have to do is exchange your email. I will introduce you to some newsletters periodically, but I'm keeping you informed with the newest insights and research when it comes to helping you with your health, happiness, and vitality. And in exchange, I will give you a free digital copy of my book. And all you would need to do then is go to the section towards the back called Recommended Reading. And in the recommended reading section, there is 4 categories. Guess what? Those 4 categories are your 4 controls. What I like to say is those are the things within your sphere of control. All these things that are going on in the world right now that we're seemingly complaining about and laboring on. And, you know, it's incessant, isn't it? Social media and news platforms and the conversations that we're having all seem to come back to that one topic. And I don't need to mention what it is because I think you probably know. My question is, what within that topic do you have control over? From my side, as a health practitioner and promoter, it is these 4 areas that you are able to control. Your mind. You are in control of your mind. It might feel like you're not most of the time. I appreciate that. I know where you're coming from. There are methods to help resolve that. Your body, your physical body, how you move and so forth. Your nutrition, what you choose to ingest into your food. And even before that, what you choose to purchase at the food store before it even gets home and gets into your mouth. And finally, your rest and recovery. So within each of these 4 areas of control, I'm sharing with you my favorite books for each of those. And I've given you a list of maybe 6 per section. So maybe up to 24 books that I'm recommending. But for me, from my extensive research, I'll say for the last 20 years, these are the creme de la creme. These are the books that I would highly recommend. Obviously, I'm going to promote my book on top of that too, that, hey, I've summarized what I've learned in those 24 books and more into 15 steps. It's condensed into this physical copy I have in my hands. If you wish for a physical copy, I'm going to be getting more in my clinic as we get ready for Christmas. But it's also an opportunity. You can go online yourself right now and order it on Amazon, or indeed you can go get a free digital copy. It comes as a PDF. You just have to put it on your computer or your device. I use Apple, so I know it works in iBooks. You can put it into that program, no problem. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about that stuff because hopefully you're already actioning on that, or you've already got a copy and it's just waiting for you to dive into and dive deeper. So the purpose of doing these podcast episodes is to expand on what I talk about in my book. Because I'm literally, in my book, it's a lot that I've researched and that I endorse and I share with people. So I've tried my best, and it took me years, over a decade, to create this book because there were so many things I wanted to include. And maybe in time I will write a bigger book. But I wanted to condense it because I realize I'm a busy parent, busy business owner, and I appreciate that time is of the essence. And I love what a patient of mine, Dennis, you shared this with me last week, that yes, time does fly, but indeed you are the pilot. So the question is, how are you piloting? How are you flying the time that you are given on this planet? What are you doing with that time? Some of it should be invested in reading the 15-step playbook for pain relief, because from my side, I think it's pretty golden information. Now, it's golden information, but you don't want to get over intellectual with it. Take it, run with it, and apply it. I've had a number of people who've read my book. I wonder, on that percentage of people that have read the book, how many have actually followed through with execution of these recommended 15 steps, following through with the 15 steps, and not just once and, well, it didn't really work. No, you got to be consistent and be labored about it, right? On the long-term journey with this. So I put that out to you. If you've already read my book, you've got my book, and you've gone through it once or three times, but you've not put it into application, why? Why have you not applied it? What is it that's stopping you? And maybe if there is something, procrastination and our other good friend, or wrong term, not friend, enemies, frustration, procrastination and distraction. Remember, I talked about this on Monday's podcast this week. So it's probably one of those two, if not both, that's stopping you from getting what you want with respect to having the formula that's going to help you get what you want. All right. Sorry, I'm a little bit off topic. Anyway, what I'm trying to say there is, please do share with me. If you've read my book, great. What did you get out of it? What are you doing from it? What has it done to help create an ongoing change in your lifestyle? That's what I'm particularly interested in. So last time when we were talking about grains in step number 11 here, we talked about the fact that if our ancestors 10,000 years ago didn't used to eat it, the question is, do we need to eat it? Now, we live in a society now where everything's so well packaged. It looks bright and beautiful and wonderful. And it gives you all the information on the breakdown of vitamins and minerals and so forth. And so you read that and you glance it over and you go, great. My question is, go back to the ingredients and read the ingredients. And if you struggle to pronounce, as I'm doing right now, if you're struggling to pronounce the words that are written on that ingredient list, it's up to you. But I would question, if I need it in my diet, and if I do allow it in my diet, how much of it am I going to allow in my diet? Because if you remember back to early stages of my book and podcast episodes, it is the dose that makes the poison. That applies to anything, even the water that you're drinking, the high quality foods that you're consuming. Eventually, if you eat high quality, good, great food in a large meal, it's going to turn into, that doesn't satisfy me anymore, right? It becomes actually a source of your suffering. So there's a balance point with all of what we're sharing here. You've got to decide to what degree you want to push the pedal down. Now, if you're in a lot of pain, chronic pain, dis-ease, and so forth, then go full tilt. Go 100%. Really be very regimented and disciplined with your diet, because your body is your greatest messenger. It's telling you something, but are you taking on board what it's sharing with you? Are you making the corrections in an appropriate way? Here's one of my other formulas I love to share. It's coming up on the screen now for those of you listening in. It's a simple one I teach my kids. Basketball coach, I share it with my athletes, as well as obviously I said as a parent, but also for my patients, is to take an action. Make a change with applying these steps. Get some feedback. Is it working? Is it not? If it is, great. Continue doing it. Recycle it. And if it's not, make a correction and go back and take another action, get some feedback and make a correction. But ultimately, two most important words at the tail end of this is never quit. You must be incessant with it. So today, what I wanted to review with respect to grains is, how do you go about evaluating if grains are indeed something you need to remove from your diet? Listen to your body, period. You could go spend a lot of money on getting tests done, and yeah, they can be very exhaustive. But I've certainly had patients who've had tests illustrate no gluten intolerance or allergens, but they definitely improved in their health when they did remove the grains from their diets. So you got to take these things with a pinch of salt. Ultimately, your body is your greatest resource. I'm a firm believer it's also a natural pharmacy. I heard that on a podcast a few months back, that if you provide it with the raw materials, it can assimilate, create, and be genius in creating new methods and procedures and cells. And I mean, we could go into great detail here as to how the body has this radical ability to conquer things that enter the body that it's not used to, it doesn't want to have in the body, and so forth. So listen to your body. I also recommend go a step further in terms of, okay, now you've made a decision that you want to test to see if grains are a factor or not in, producing pain in your body or affecting your energy levels, is definitely you want to remove them 100%. And to do that 100%, that may mean then making sure that even the meats that you're consuming, those animals were not grain fed. Because don't forget, that there is a chain to our life cycle. The quality of the soil is determining the quality of the grain upon which it's growing. And the quality of the grain is determining the quality of the meat that the animals are consuming those grains from. And therefore, the animal meat that we're choosing to consume is influencing the quality of our biological responses. So you've got to follow that cycle. So if the animal's been consuming grains, then technically you're still getting grains into your body when you said, I'm going to eliminate them. So my recommendation is to eliminate for a minimum of 30 days. But ideally, they say 90 days. Because in that 90-day period, there is this pretty cool, what they call villi, these tentacle-looking protrusions in the gut that in somebody who's got grain intolerance, grain allergies, these tentacles, if you will, these villi will reduce and it'll become very minimal surface area that foods and biological material passing through the gut can get extracted and used effectively through your body. So if those protrusions are not down as they should, it's not going to catch as much nutrition passing through your gut. So that's why 90 days, they say, allows the villi to recover and do their job more effectively. 30 days might not quite cut it. 30 days, maybe if you're, younger, but if you're, 40, 50, 60 plus, and it's been decades that you've been eating grains and you're taking them out, I would suggest shooting for a longer period of time of 90 days. Then what you do is you take heed and listen to your body over the 90 days. And after 90 days, then you introduce on day 91 some source of gluten, some source of grain, and see how your body responds. If you get any type of symptom as a result of consuming that food, then you can guarantee you have some form of gluten intolerance or gluten allergic response. So then that's up to you. How extreme do you want to go? If you found over that 90 days, wow, I've lost weight, my belly is not as poochy, I have more results in my better sleep, and so on and so forth. If you get so many good results, then the question is, why would you want to go back when you found over 90 days, I've adapted my diet and I'm on a roll, I'm on a system, I've got a plan in effect here. So you've got to listen to your body from that perspective. Okay, I thought that was a great little summary for you once I got to the chase there of why a minimum of 30 days to 90 days eliminating grains can be very therapeutic and beneficial, because then you can test for yourself and listen to your body and get the appreciation for what this actually does for you. Something printed on paper by way of results from a doctor saying yes you do or no you don't only has so much weighting. But if you can convince yourself that by taking grains out of your diet there is a beneficial reaction in your body, then you become your own coach. And I'm a huge advocate of that. I'm going to leave one more thing up on the screen here, which is if you go to this resource, for those of you listening in, it's jasonbarlow.rmt.com/free-tools. And on there, you'll see I share a few things, but in particular, I want you to go download my 7-day, which very easily can become 30 days or 90 days because you just print more of them out, but my 7-day sleep and nutrition log or journal. And in there, I give you some more stepping stones to work toward. And in particular, I give you sections to fill out per day for sleep, how many hours you're getting, but also your foods, what you consumed and how, most importantly, how you are reacting 1 to 2 hours having had that particular meal. So do take some time, have the opportunity to indulge yourself in my book, but also the 7-Day Nutrition Journal, and take the journey. See what results you get, and do please let me know. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me. If you were on live, I appreciate the thumbs up there for those of you that were on there. And remember, your muscle health is my #1 priority. I'm here to serve you. Reach out to me and have a great rest of your day. Bye.